The world is facing an energy crisis that threatens not just economies, but daily lives. Power grids are stretched thin, failing in the face of rising demand and aging infrastructure. Billions of people are now trapped between rising energy prices and unreliable power supply. The dependence on fossil fuels is both a practical and moral dilemma, straining natural ecosystems and geopolitical stability. Countries rich in coal, oil, or gas often hold disproportionate control over energy access. Climate change, driven largely by fossil fuel combustion, intensifies with each passing year. Global leaders are calling for bold, sustainable solutions, but most of them arrive too slow, or not at all. People everywhere are tired of waiting. They want energy that is clean, affordable, and reliable, without having to sacrifice comfort or modern conveniences. That's where MAGMO enters the conversation. You may not have heard the name before, but it's already starting to generate serious buzz in science and energy circles. What exactly is MAGMO? At its core, MAGMO is a new kind of energy technology that uses molten salt to store and deliver power. It may sound futuristic, but the science behind it is solid, well-researched, and highly scalable. In fact, MAGMO's foundation lies in proven thermal energy storage systems already used in some industrial settings. But what's revolutionary is its attempt to shrink this power into something usable in everyday homes. Imagine if your house could harness solar or wind energy during the day and keep it stored, even through a week-long storm or blackout. MAGMO's molten salt system works like a powerful, clean battery, only without lithium, cobalt, or flammable chemicals. Instead, it uses inexpensive, stable salt compounds heated to high temperatures, where they hold energy like a thermal reservoir. Then, whenever electricity is needed, at night, during cloudy days, or even on windless nights, the stored heat is released and converted back to usable electricity. This form of storage is not only efficient, but also free from the degradation issues that plague traditional lithium-ion batteries. It's a closed system with minimal environmental impact and potentially decades of reliability. Most importantly, it doesn't require rare earth metals or a supply chain tied up in geopolitical tensions. MAGMO represents more than just a gadget. It represents an energy revolution from the inside out. With MAGMO, homes could become miniature power plants, immune to grid failures and surges. Imagine no longer relying on a single utility company to power your appliances, charge your devices, or keep the lights on. MAGMO gives individuals and families the freedom to take charge of their own energy destiny. But before we get carried away with the promises, let's understand how MAGMO actually works scientifically. The heart of MAGMO lies in its molten salt reservoir, a tank of special salts capable of holding extreme heat. These salts can be heated to temperatures over 500 degrees Celsius using excess electricity from renewable sources. Once heated, the salt stays hot for hours, or even days, without significant energy loss. This thermal energy is stored passively, without the need for active cooling or complex electronic regulation. When energy demand rises, that stored heat is passed through a heat exchanger that drives a turbine or a thermoelectric generator. That generator then feeds electricity directly to the home, seamlessly. Even if there's a storm outside, or the grid is down, MAGMO keeps your home powered. The real magic lies in its responsiveness. The system can adapt in real time to fluctuations in demand or supply. During the day, it charges. At night, it powers. On cloudy days, it waits and holds. It's not just storage, it's intelligent, sustainable energy management. Compare that with the average home today, which either depends fully on a fragile grid or supplements with costly solar battery packs. Traditional solar batteries are expensive, degrade over time, and require maintenance and eventual replacement. They also use toxic chemicals and materials that are hard to dispose of. MAGMO sidesteps all of that with a clean, stable, and long-lasting alternative. Let's take a moment to look at the big picture. What would life with MAGMO really look like? Picture waking up in a home that never experienced a blackout. Your fridge runs, your coffee brews, and your phone charges, all seamlessly. Meanwhile, your roof panels continue to charge the system, heating the molten salt as you go about your day. During dinner, when most homes pull heavy power from the grid, MAGMO draws from its reserve without breaking a sweat. You're not only saving money, you're living responsibly. Your carbon footprint is dramatically reduced, but your comfort isn't. This is the promise of MAGMO, and it's more realistic than many think. Early prototypes are already in operation in pilot homes and small communities. Scientists have confirmed the viability of long-term thermal storage at the household scale. What's more, the materials involved are widely available and relatively cheap. Unlike lithium or cobalt, the salts used in MAGMO don't come with ethical baggage or scarcity fears. This makes MAGMO not only a green solution, but also an equitable one. It could work in developing nations just as well as in affluent suburbs. But let's be clear, it's not a magic bullet. Every energy technology has trade-offs, and MAGMO is no different. One of the primary concerns is cost. Although the materials are cheap, the system design and installation are not. At least, not yet. Scaling MAGMO to millions of homes will require manufacturing efficiencies, standardization, and better public awareness. The initial investment may be out of reach for many households. Still, with government incentives or community-driven projects, early adoption is possible. And as with solar panels, the cost curve can fall quickly once production ramps up. Another challenge is size. Thermal storage systems are physically larger than battery packs. Not every home will have space for a MAGMO unit without redesigning basements, garages, or outdoor sheds. That said, newer compact designs are already being tested to fit urban homes and apartments, and the advantage of durability cannot be overstated. While lithium batteries may last 10 years, MAGMO systems could last 30 or more. This longevity pays off in both sustainability and economics. It's an investment that continues to give back for decades. Moreover, MAGMO integrates well with other renewables. It doesn't compete with solar or wind, it enhances them. It stores their surplus and fills in their gaps, creating a complete energy ecosystem. This hybrid approach could redefine how neighborhoods and cities think about energy. Instead of centralized power plants and sprawling grids, imagine distributed systems built on thousands of MAGMO-equipped homes. Each home not only serves itself, but can feed excess energy to neighbors or local microgrids. Energy resilience becomes community-wide, not just personal. In emergencies, hurricanes, wildfires, blackouts, these microgrids could save lives. They could power shelters, charge medical equipment, or refrigerate medicine, even when everything else fails. That's more than convenience, that's security. And in a changing world, energy security is no longer optional. Whether it's heat waves in Europe or freezing storms in Texas, energy disruptions are becoming more common. We need solutions that are not only green but also resilient and adaptive. MAGMO fits that need like few other technologies do. So why haven't we seen MAGMO everywhere yet? Part of the answer lies in inertia. The energy industry is massive, conservative, and slow to change. Regulators and utilities often resist new technologies that threaten their business models. But the tide is turning. Consumers are demanding better. Policymakers are waking up to the need for home-level energy resilience. And innovators are pushing boundaries. MAGMO is the convergence of these forces, a technical solution, a social movement, and a silent revolution. We are standing at the edge of a new energy era. What comes next could redefine how we live, work, and power our dreams. The silent revolution starts with a question every homeowner must ask. Is there a better way to power my life? MAGMO says yes, and not just better, but smarter, cleaner, and more secure. The idea of energy independence has always existed, but it has never been this tangible or practical. For years, the average person has felt helpless, stuck with utility bills, vulnerable to outages, and locked out of innovation. MAGMO flips that narrative on its head. It puts power, literal power, back into your hands. Instead of being a passive consumer, you become an active producer, manager, and guardian of your energy. It's the kind of transformation that mirrors the rise of personal computing. What once required a massive mainframe now fits on your desk, or in this case, in your home. But like all revolutions, there are growing pains. Early adopters of MAGMO must be ready to experiment. They must understand the technology, invest time in learning, and accept that version 1.0 is not the final form. This is where community comes into play. Shared knowledge accelerates progress. As more people test, adapt, and improve MAGMO systems, the collective intelligence increases. We begin to see forums, local co-ops, and tech clubs forming around this energy movement. Just like DIY solar panels or off-grid homesteading, MAGMO taps into a cultural momentum. People are tired of waiting for top-down solutions. They're building bottom-up resilience. Imagine a MAGMO-powered neighborhood. Every home stores its own thermal energy, but they're all connected. If one house needs more power on a cloudy day, its neighbor can pitch in. It's the energy equivalent of a community garden or a digital mesh network. This vision transforms energy from a commodity to a shared resource. It builds trust, solidarity, and independence simultaneously. It creates a safety net during climate disasters or political instability. This is not science fiction. It's already happening in small, smart grids across the globe. In Northern Europe, thermal storage is gaining traction as a serious alternative to batteries. Pilot programs in Japan and Canada are testing community-based energy storage. In parts of Africa, where centralized grids never fully arrived, distributed solutions like MAGMO represent a leapfrog opportunity. Rather than waiting for national grids to be modernized, entire villages can power themselves with clean, modular systems. It's the same way mobile phones leapfrog landlines. Technology doesn't need to trickle down anymore. It can jump ahead. MAGMO could be to energy what the smartphone was to communication. A portable, intelligent solution that empowers the individual. But to make that leap, education is key. People need to understand not only what MAGMO is, but how it works and why it matters. Schools, community centers, and even local governments must get involved. Workshops, YouTube tutorials, open source manuals, all of these can demystify the science. Because when people understand a system, they are more likely to trust and adopt it. Transparency matters. MAGMO's development should be open, inclusive, and ethical. There must be safeguards against monopolies or exploitation. If MAGMO becomes another tool for corporate control, it will fail its mission. Instead, we must ensure access, affordability, and flexibility. Just like the open internet, the energy future should be decentralized and user-driven. Now let's address a common question. How safe is molten salt? The answer is surprisingly comforting. Unlike flammable battery chemicals, molten salt is stable at high temperatures and does not explode or catch fire. It has a high heat capacity, is non-toxic, and can be recycled or reused over long periods. Yes, the systems must be insulated and handled properly, but they are far safer than most alternatives. In fact, utility-scale molten salt systems have operated for years without major incidents. MAGMO adapts the same science into a compact, residential form. Of course, any system involving heat requires safety protocols. Sensors, fail-safes, and emergency shutdowns are all standard in MAGMO designs. You wouldn't install one without professional help, at least not yet. But future versions could be modular and plug-and-play, like IKEA furniture for energy. A homeowner could install panels, connect the tank, and monitor everything via smartphone. Real-time diagnostics could alert you to any inefficiencies or anomalies. AI-powered systems could learn your habits and optimize energy usage accordingly. Imagine a home that knows when you cook dinner, when you charge your EV, and adjusts accordingly. That's not fantasy, it's where MAGMO is heading. Let's talk about affordability again. MAGMO isn't cheap, but neither were solar panels a decade ago. Early adopters paved the way for affordability. As demand increases, manufacturers scale up and prices come down. We've seen this cycle with microwaves, televisions, and even electric cars. MAGMO will follow the same curve, especially if it gains government support. Tax credits, rebates, and grants could accelerate adoption dramatically. So could corporate investment. Imagine home builders including MAGMO systems by default. In the future, your mortgage might include thermal energy storage. Green homes will become the new standard, and landlords will find that MAGMO-powered rentals attract better tenants and offer long-term savings. Insurers may even offer discounts for homes with resilient, grid-independent energy systems. It's a win-win-win for the planet, the homeowner, and the economy. But like all great ideas, MAGMO faces competition. Big battery companies aren't standing still. Tesla, LG, Panasonic, they're all racing to dominate home energy storage. Their advantage is familiarity and brand recognition. But MAGMO's advantage is longevity, sustainability, and safety. And most importantly, it's not tied to a resource bottleneck like lithium. This could be the deciding factor as global demand for energy storage explodes. Governments are already worried about lithium shortages and environmental costs of mining. MAGMO sidesteps that entire problem. It's scalable, local, and built with widely available materials. That's not just smart, that's strategic. In a world where supply chains are fragile and geopolitical tensions are high, local solutions win. MAGMO units could be built by regional manufacturers, reducing transportation costs and boosting local economies. Skilled labor jobs would rise in installation, maintenance, and innovation. It's a ripple effect that strengthens the middle class and drives green growth. This isn't just a product, it's a policy opportunity. MAGMO could be central to any Green New Deal-style legislation. It could be adopted in low-income housing programs, rural development, and climate resilience plans. The military could use it for forward operating bases. Hospitals could deploy it as backup power during blackouts. Schools could run on it, teaching students about science while using science. Everywhere you look, MAGMO offers applications beyond just powering toasters and TVs. It represents the convergence of multiple trends: decarbonization, decentralization, and democratization. If we want a better world, we need better tools. MAGMO is one of those tools. It's not perfect yet, but perfection is not the goal. Practicality is, progress is, and participation is. Because the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we build. One home, one neighborhood, one breakthrough at a time. So ask yourself again, is there a better way to power your life? Now you know there is. It's not hype. It's not a fantasy. It's a system rooted in science, driven by innovation, and powered by people like you. The next step is awareness. Share the knowledge. Talk about MAGMO with friends and family. Ask your local leaders what they're doing to support new energy solutions. Join forums, follow research, stay informed. Because this isn't just about energy, it's about agency. The power to choose a better future starts with knowing that choice exists. You don't have to wait for the grid to catch up. You can step forward now. And with MAGMO, you won't be walking into the dark. You'll be lighting the way.